What's up, folks? This is Justin from Books, Bricks, and Boards. I'm filming on the other side of the dungeon again today, which I haven't done in a while. But today, I'm going to talk about some things on this shelf. Specifically, I'm going to talk about some tables that every game master ought to have at his fingertips to have the best opportunity to provide the experience that his players are going to enjoy. So this is my top 5 tables that every GM should have at their table. Let's get into it.
I said take only what you need to survive.
It's my industrial strength hairdryer, and I can't live without it!
All right, so first up, I got a table from Ironsworn. Now you can get Ironsworn from DriveThruRPG for free, or you can get a print-on-demand version in hardback, softback, or if you are primarily using the tables for other games, you can get this really neat reference guide called Lodestar. It's got all the most important tables from the Ironsworn RPG, but condensed without any of the extras. I actually use Lodestar more than I do the actual Ironsworn books for my Ironsworn campaign. But the table I'm going to be referring to right now is the Pay the Price table. This is on page 21 of the Lodestar book, but you can also find it in the Ironsworn Core RPG book. The thing that's great about this is if you're not sure what a cost should be for your players, this can give you some inspiration. You roll a D100, and then you pick what the result is going to be based on that roll. For example, got my tiny D10s here. This is a 9 and a 1, 91. The Pay the Price is it forces you to act against your best intentions. So perhaps you are fighting to save a group of townsfolk, and for some reason, the enemy puts you in a situation where you have to sacrifice one of the townsfolk to get away or to achieve your objective. Or, let's see, 95. A friend, companion, or ally is put in harm's way. So perhaps one of those townsfolk are taken hostage. This is just a really neat way to throw a little bit of the unexpected into your group's RPG. Now, in the Ironsworn RPG, you'll use this table quite a bit. But in another RPG, you could use this probably once a session and get a lot of value out of it. Okay, so we're only into the second entry on my list, and I'm already going to cheat. Now, you guys know how much I love Kevin Crawford, and his Stars Without Number book, which is available for free on DriveThruRPG, has some great tables in it. But the one that I think every GM should have at his table is the random name generator. And this is actually several different ones based upon language. There's an Arabic, Chinese, English, Greek, Indian, Japanese, Latin, Nigerian, Russian, and Spanish version of the table, all within just a few pages. Each of the tables is a D100 drop. You'll get a whole list of male names, female names, surnames, names of places. I guess there's 2 rows of names of places, actually, sorry. But this is really handy whenever you are creating content on the fly. For example, if you wanted to create a new ogre, and you wanted a random English name, you roll your D100. I got a 12, so that would be Alfred. I roll for a surname, and it could be Alfred Thomas. That's not a very ogre-y name, but you get the idea. This could be for any NPC. What I like to do is each different language I associate with a different culture from my game. So the dwarves might be, for example, German, and the elves might be Greek. And that way I have a certain continuity to the naming scheme for their towns and for their NPCs. But that is for Stars Without Number, which if you haven't picked up yet, you should at least pick up the free version, and my suggestion is to pay a little bit extra and get the full version. And my third entry is going to be another Kevin Crawford game. This is the cousin to Stars Without Number. This is Worlds Without Number. So, like I said before, Kevin Crawford always gives us a lot of great tools and tables, but the one table that I think every GM should have at their table from this book is the random NPC types. You can roll a d12 to find out what their characteristic twists are. There's some interesting ones in there. And then you roll a d100, and based upon their station in the city, then you can get some interesting options. For example, you could get a corrupt petty clerk or guard that has a PC or ally that owes them a debt. Or you could get a neighborhood shopkeeper that has a secret identity. There's some great options here, and it is going to be able to keep your game flowing while the characters are interacting with NPCs that you did not expect them to. And this is from, again, Worlds Without Number, which is available for free on DriveThruRPG. All right, the next entry in our list is going to be another one from Sean Tompkin, the creator of Ironsworn. This is going to come out of Ironsworn Starforged. This, like the original Ironsworn, has a reference guide available. And so I'm going to use this because it is easier to find the tables that I'm looking for, but don't let that fool you into thinking that this or the original Ironsworn isn't an excellent game, because they are. So the table for your table from Starforged is Story Complication. This table is going to introduce some interesting obstacles for the players, and it would be a nice thing to represent the fates working against them, or perhaps a nice way to introduce a problem based on a critical fumble. So you roll a d100. Here I have an 88. So urgent message distracts you from your quest. So back to my story about saving the villagers from some ne'er-do-wells. Perhaps while I am attempting to save the villagers, I notice that there is a plume of smoke from across the village in the other area of town. Now I have two things that I have to take care of, and I am distracted from my primary quest. Or, if I roll a 70, trusted information is shown to be false. Maybe the villagers that I'm trying to protect aren't actually villagers at all, but they're in the employ of the enemy, and they are working against my objectives. So that is an excellent way to introduce some unexpected complications for your gaming table. If you are a regular to the channel, it will come as no surprise to you that I couldn't make a list without including something from Free League Publishing, so here it is. This is from the Forbidden Lands Player's Handbook, which is in the Forbidden Lands Core Rulebook, or Core Box Set, sorry. So if you flip to page 148, you're going to get a table about leading the way. Again, I'm going to cheat on this one because I'm going to actually use a few tables from this book. They're all in the same section. So if, for example, you had a group of adventurers that were traveling in the wilderness and they maybe failed a tracking roll, this would be a good way to represent some sort of an unfortunate event that befell upon them. So this is a D66 table, as all of the Forbidden Lands tables are. So this is a 6 and a 2. So a 62, they encountered a savage animal. Perhaps a wolf, bear, or other wild animal feels threatened and attacks them. Or maybe they get a 61. A mosquito swarm attacks them and causes them all sorts of problems. Now you'll have to adjust the actual mechanical effect based upon the game system you're using, but you get the idea. This can insert some excellent story fodder for you. There's also some tables for if they're foraging, trying to look for supplies out in the woods perhaps, if they're hunting, if they're fishing, and if they are sailing. So these different tables are all interesting, and they're going to be rather unexpected for players that are used to just having whatever comes to the GM's mind, because they're a little bit offbeat, and they will introduce some randomness to your game, and randomness is variety, and variety is the spice of life. All right, so that's all I got for today. That is my 5 tables that you should have at your table if you're a game master. So this is a little bit of a short video. Hopefully this is something that you can refer back to and that you'll get some value out of at your gaming table. If you did enjoy the content, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. So if you have something that you would like to add to the mix as far as a table that you just can't live without, I'd love to hear about it. Add it to the comments section. And until next time, this has been Justin from Books, Bricks, and Boards. Good gaming, and God bless.